go, here you go. Go. Good? That's a big fish.
Full hand on tail, yeah, looks so good.
Look how broad that thing is.
What if I was on the full medium?
Beautiful. Oh my, that's a big fish. Flip! That's what I've been waiting for all day. That's over 6. Oh. That's a good fish. Donkey. That's a heavy spot. Oh my God, please get the net. Please get the net. I got you, buddy.
That was the weirdest one ever. There you go. What the? Oh yeah, he's got another 4.5.
Oh my God, this might be it. If I can land this fish. Holy sh! 5.06. She's thick. Oh my God! Oh my God! Holy! What a beast! Dude, that's it! That's it! 4 pounds. I need a picture. Oh wow! That might be a 4. That might be a 4. Yeah, it's a 4. You guys show that off to 4 pounds, 12 ounces. Holy! Trailer just getting done. Yeah? Yeah. Dude, that's unbelievable. That's it.
I'm still swimming. What happened to me?
Yup. 5.3. Sorry for freaking out. My first fish of the year. There we go. That's a big fish. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes! 4.14 though. Gee. Not too shabby. Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Good morning.
Welcome. Hope you like that new intro. Spent all night working on that last night, finally getting it done. Stop being a slacker. Ha! You know what's funny? I just realized I'm still a slacker. I still forgot to put up the donation status and goal, progression, whatever you want to call it. Still not there. My bad. Anyway, let's back it up. Who else we got here? Drew, Dave, Jim, Jig Squad, Chris, Ben Marshall with the pinned comics. That was the funniest goddamn thing. Gordy, JJ, David, Lil Tommy, Jack, David again, and Kevin. What's up, buddy? We have actually only a few things to discuss tonight because it's a really important thing that, as if you didn't read the video description below, it's pretty much, I pretty much wrote the same thing almost word for word in like all the social media posts for this today. Something I've been like, I mean, we've been mulling for months. We've recorded, actually goes back further than that. I looked. So we made an announcement video for this. And the first iteration we did was December 19th, 21. It's been in the works for a while here, folks. There's a lot going on, but we're getting there. Long? It's been that long. And then the other one we recorded was like 2 or 3 months ago. I think it was 3 months ago because we were both wearing hoodies. And you know how warm it is down here. We don't wear hoodies unless it's really cold. It's sweltering down here, man. Yeah, it's sweltering everywhere.
You got fans going.
Yep. TV18, hey, buddy. I know we got the one over there on the floor. I got the giant one outside the door that's
2
blowing
on the floor.
into the
One
crack.
should be underneath the camera.
Hurry, it's going to explode. Andrew slacked. That's probably why it shut off earlier. So we're going to do a quick recap of the weekend fishing report because it was an important one. Some stuff that I did. Andrew did not come out. He was like, buddy, I need sleep. I was like, it's okay. I understand that. So he did not come out, but I got to fish with my buddy Travis, who I haven't fished with in a little bit. Took him to the mini promised land in Vermont. It went really, really well. But I hope everybody else is doing well. Enough about us for a second. How's everybody else doing? It has been hot. The fishing has been phenomenal. I hope it's been good for everybody else. I will say, the New Hampshire for us, the New Hampshire. The fishing for us in New Hampshire, like all our go-to spots, have been dog crap. Mm-hmm. I took my kids out Friday after work to a spot that I loved. because it's one of the first places my dad took me to when I was a wee little lad. And the milfoil exploded a few years ago, and the fishing got so much better. The bass were finally getting bigger, and it's all gone. Andrew and I caught a 6.26, and he caught a 5.78. One day. We weren't recording. I was out with my son, my oldest son. And milfoil was still everywhere. It was great. Go back
That
with
was
my
just
kids.
kind of like out of nowhere, too.
Yeah,
We
absolutely
weren't
out
really
of nowhere.
expecting to catch anything of size. We usually go there to catch numbers, like usually a lot of numbers, like 40, 50 fish days. But they're all about like 1 to 2 pounds. Sometimes get in the 3-pound range, but
But that was usually a rarity. But yeah, I mean, we go out and catch 30 to 40 fish every time we went. That's just a rod bender lake. But it's so good. It's always so fun. And there's a bunch of different ways you can fish there. Now all the milfoil is gone. And I'm sad. I understand it. It's got to go to an extent. However, man, it was really making the fishing a lot better there. So double-edged sword. I get it. I'm still sad.
once they get used to it, though, like I said in that text to you, they're gonna migrate to those hot spots again.
Oh, yeah.
And it's gonna be sick.
It's going to be great. No, Kevin, I don't want to hear that. That sucks. Hey, Rogue, Riga,
Rogue.
you.
The rogue.
Oh, and Sir Altitude and Evan. Hey, friends. Central AC has been my best friend. All right, well, that's enough rambling. Let's get into the quick kind of weekend recap. So we talked a lot about the previous weekend when we came back from Vermont, and we found a lot of good fish out on the inside grass edge and outside grass edge, like 10 to 15 feet max for like all of our big largies. Doesn't mean they couldn't have been deeper, but for that particular lake in Vermont, like that was the jam. Went out this past Sunday, different pond in Vermont, same kind of setup, but last year we went for the first time and there was like insane amounts of offshore grass. And that was phenomenal. I went out there and I'm looking, it ain't there. Just like everywhere else. That offshore vegetation development has just been non-existent. Pretty much everywhere I've been so far. But I think it's normally supposed to be there. And the bass are still cruising those same exact damn spots. Went out, couldn't see anything in the Mega 360. So I was like, looked at my buddy Travis. I'm like, I know they're supposed to be out here. We already caught a few. I'm marking plenty of stuff going directly underneath the boat. Let me side image really quick and see what we can find. I went 300 feet, and now I have a newer side imaging. I replaced my old HDS 9 with a HDS Carbon 9 with the 3-in-1 transducer, so I get the higher resolution side imaging. It was pretty nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was real nice.
Does-
We took it out. He got it on the boat
Saturday.
I came over after work, and we went out for like, I don't know, 2 hours just to go like drive around a small little pond nearby.
Make sure I didn't screw anything up.
And-
Spoiler alert, I did.
Well,
It's all right.
as
We got
soon
fixed.
as we turned it on and started reading, we looked at each other like, holy shit,
This is what it's like to really see things.
this is amazing. This is like me with glasses on. You could literally see everything. It was crazy. Like on the old one, it was kind of hard to find where it goes for like when there's really not much on the bottom to those like grass weed lines, the grass line, like where it goes from nothing to grass.
Yep.
And with this new one, you can see it clear as day. Even if the grass is only a couple inches tall, you can still see the difference, like clear as day. It's like it looked like it was going from like dirt to grass, pretty much. Like that's what it looked like.
The detail was there. We could kind of see it with the older one, but it like you had to play with the color palette, and it took a really practiced eye, and you had to go just the right speed to find like that magic combo of like, okay, yeah, we're pretty confident, like that's what we're seeing. And we slapped this on. It was like, oh, no, that's different because now I can see everything. And we were marking plenty of schools of crappie hanging out on these downed logs out in deeper water. So Sunday, took that pass with a side imaging. Like I said, I went 300, maybe 400 feet, and I was just marking so many friggin' bass. It was stupid. I just looked at Travis, like, never mind, we're staying. Put the trolling motor down and just fan cast all around the area where that offshore vegetation should have been. It just hadn't developed yet, but it didn't matter. All the bait fish, in this case, yellow perch, were still roaming in like good little, like tightly clumped schools, and it was the funniest thing. You'd see them go by on just like your traditional sonar. I'm looking down. All of a sudden, you just see like this 8-foot tall perch ball rolling by, and it would like you'd see it come across the screen, and then 3 seconds after that ended, you'd see a bass on the bottom of the screen.
I'm gonna
like,
get you.
like literally every time I look down, I'm like, there's the perch, and I watch, and there's the bass. So we just fan cast around, and the thing that I noticed was it was still the same deal for the jig. Like it literally really had to be a craw like profile. Now, not to say that there are other baits that also couldn't have worked, but they were choking that jig, and I got hard on for fishing a jig, so I wasn't really going to try picking up too many other things. I did throw a Senko around a little bit. 7-inch, so, it's kind of different because it's giant. And Travis threw around the Nico rig a little bit, threw a giant Pat swim bait, and we crushed them. Here's the caveat. We were fishing like it was winter. And that came to mind when he said it the weekend before when we were guiding. And I actually sat and watched him. I was like, damn, he's actually fishing that really slow. I had to, and you'd be proud of me, I had to go twice as slow as you were. Like 10, 15 seconds in the middle of summer, mind you, letting that football jig soak. Semi-taut line so you could feel something. And I wasn't even watching my line. I'd be talking. And like my body started to tense up because like I know it's going to come because it was so damn consistent for the last like 3 hours of the day. Thunk. There's one. And it ended up being like 3, 3.5, 3, 3.25, 3 3/4, 3 3/4, 4. It was just stupid how good the consistency was.
Yeah, when we were fishing that lake up in Vermont 2 weeks ago, we were with Dean. We were casting out over that point where the grass was.
Yep.
Where I had dropped off to like 65 feet or 60 feet on the other side. I was dragging real slow, and I'd pause for probably 10, 15 seconds. And I'd just have just the slightest tension on the line. And I'd just sit there, and I was just staring at my rod tip. Just staring. I knew I'd be able to feel it, but I just wanted to see the bite. And all of a sudden, it'd be, bop, bop. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Every time.
To wrap the whole thing up, and this really goes even back to the last weekend, and I like totally expect that this... Wait, which point was that, Andrew? Oh, well, we'll get to that in a second, Sean. I totally expect that this pattern is going to continue on even into this weekend because the weather's been really consistent. I really don't see the water getting that much hotter. In summer, you can go one of two ways. You can fish slow or you can fish like ridiculously fast and reactionary, right? Like if you're fishing a jig, you can snap it off the bottom a mile. You can crack a tube along. Like you can do all sorts of crazy things. Burn a crankbait, burn a spinnerbait, chatterbait, whatever. I've been having much more success fishing like it's coming into the early winter than I have fishing any other way. I've got 1,000 guesses as to why that's the case. I try not to think about it too much because then you overcomplicate the issue. At this point, I would hope that a lot of you already have like a good starting point for like they should be doing this. And more importantly, I hope that you have an open mind as to, shit, that's not working. What do I need to do to adjust? And that's literally us to a T every time we go out there. And I was doing moderately successful, doing kind of the same thing I always do. And then I thought back to what worked the weekend before, and I just continued to adjust until I found what was producing the quality I was looking for. I wasn't looking for numbers. I wanted bigger bites. Panned out in the end. I am like fighting back a hiccup like you would imagine. So just be open-minded. Be prepared to fish two entirely different ways, like stupid fast and glacially slow. It's just been a weird summer. I don't know if it's the same everywhere else, but I know that with this drought going on here in the Northeast, the slowness has been key. And it doesn't have to be super finessey stuff either. I'm throwing a big old jig. I wasn't just throwing the sniper this weekend. I was throwing a regular Beast Coast Max Field football jig, 1/2 ounce, with a Rage Craw from Strike King. But in this case, most of them I was just slightly trimming down. I took one rib off the lengthy part of the body. But it's still, it's a big meal. And just letting that bitch sit there on the bottom. And it worked.
Always does.
So, that's that. Oh, Sean wants to know which point where the one up by, well, the one that we always fish, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, where I caught...
Oh, the 5.75?
Yeah, where I caught my last fish.
Yeah.
But casting out the other way. Actually, same way, but
you were
45 degrees the other way.
You were casting to the southern end of it where it rolls out to deeper water eventually.
Right.
Not that you were in deeper water.
Right.
But yeah, the deeper water side of the community point that's kind of got the hump there too, with the grass on top, that one. You know exactly what we're talking about. Before we dive into the important point, this is going to be twofold. One, I want to address a couple comments because I just saw one from South Jersey that you are not alone on this. You would not believe the number of messages that I get on a daily basis. And I do my best to respond to all of them. I used to be a lot better for the timeliness of my response lately, but I'm still batting 1,000. I get to every single one, even if it takes me a couple days to get back to some people. So I want to touch upon that. And then I want to pose a question that goes into the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about tonight, because it's going to be a pretty short night. This is really just the gist of it. And then we'll see how the conversation flows from there. But South Jersey, I have struggled this year more than any other year I've ever fished. It's like I've never fished before.
That is literally how our summer started. It was extremely tough. We went to, there's like 2 or 3 ponds around here that we can go to and any other year consistently go and catch fish. And sometimes out of these ponds, there's good fish that come out of them, like 4 or 5 plus.
I would say 3 out of every 5 trips that we go to, we catch a
four-
donkey out of these
4 to
ponds.
5 pounder. Yeah.
We know
And,
them like the back of our hand, and we put the time in. But continue.
like, just one pond specifically, the OG home base. It has
Terrible.
just been absolute dog shit for us. And I don't know, it's just because we haven't spent the time out there this year to kind of relearn it for this season. Because you kind of have to do that for every pond every year. Grass comes up sometimes differently in different places, and or the lily pads come in way too thick compared to other years. You kind of got to go and learn. This place is just, everything is behind. All the grass is behind. The deep grass just seems like it's non-existent. It was just extremely tough until we kind of started working. I wouldn't say working like fishing like we're in the middle of winter, but definitely slowing down this year has worked phenomenal. Like you used to be able to go up to rock piles there, toss a jig in, and with like 3 or 4 seconds, you'd have a fish on. Almost every time, you could just like point a rock, but yeah, there's a fish on there. There's got to be.
Oh yeah.
Like the drive-by rocks that we go by all the time. Literally driving by and just toss a jig in, boom, this is a 3-pounder. Can't do that now. You got to go way slower. I think it's because of the grass. Those fish are just not used to the grass not being there, so they're kind of confused and they're like, I don't know if I should eat that or what the hell's going on. But slowing down has been key for us.
Yep.
This summer.
Jason likes your hat.
Oh, thanks. I actually wore it because I knew you were going to be on the stream tonight. I didn't know you were going to be on, but
I wholeheartedly agree with Andrew. I think by far the biggest thing, and this is all theory. I put a lot of time in the water, nowhere near as much as some, and like 1,000% more than others. But from what I've seen, and really comparing it into years past, this is not our first drought. It's like the 4th significant drought we've had in the last 6 years, just in New Hampshire alone, which is kind of a scary thought when you really think about it. But what was different from all the other droughts was we had normal springs leading into them, and we had good amount of rainfall, and then it just sucked after that. It got hot. We didn't get any rain. The water levels just kept dropping. Water quality wasn't good, the whole 9 yards. What's unique about this year, and in my opinion, I think is having a significant impact on what's going on, it was the 1-2 punch of that really crap, cloudy, cooler than average, like 2-month window we had coming right out of winter. You get like that first couple days, I don't know, we've talked about this a lot, where it's like 40 to 50 degrees, maybe 60. And like, you're like, yeah, that's like that like week window we get right before like spring really starts. But it just stayed for 2 months. And more importantly, it was windy and just definitely cooler in general and cloudy, like lots and lots of cloudy days. So whatever could have grown didn't have the warmth for it, didn't even get any rain really during that. So it wasn't helping to replenish the lakes with some fresh water anyway. And then we didn't have any sunlight penetration, at least often enough, that was continuing to help everything develop. And then we came right out of that. We had less than a week of like perfect weather. I legit think it was 3 days.
And then all of a sudden, boom, 85, 90.
Yep. And we've been here ever since. We hit that first heat wave. We came back down for maybe a week and then right back into this hot, humid, dry weather. And we've had it ever since. And with everything going on, there's nothing to help any of these veggies develop. Literally everywhere we've been, everything offshore looks like shit. Everything even close to shore looks like shit. We're up on Champlain in areas that should have had some of the most beautiful grass that you like absolutely die for finding. Looked like it just came out of ice out.
Yeah, it was like 4 feet low and mud.
Covered in like that rock snot crap.
It's just gross.
It's just weird. So I hope that additional perspective from the two of us, plus, again, like you're not alone in that. I have had so many people reach out saying like something to that same effect. Like there's just something weird. I'm struggling. I'm not sure. Like I want to try this. What do you think? Like it's just been a really strange year. So if you're doing really well, pat yourself on the back because it has not been easy, despite whatever some people have said about us in obviously very complimentary tones. It has not been easy. We've had to bust our ass for every single day we've been out there.
Yeah. Like when we took Dean out, that was a 13-hour day.
Yeah.
I mean, we caught 40, 45 fish, but it was 13 hours of finding a school here and then nothing for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then find another school here. And like, just really just putting the time in and just looking for them and finding them. It's been tough.
Yes, it has. So anybody that's maybe potentially beating themselves up about it, don't. It is just a tough year. Just keep that in mind. It is not normal. Whether or not my theory is correct or I am way off, the only thing we can say for absolute certainty is this is not a normal year. Things are very different. You have to really think like outside of the box for what would traditionally be working really well right now and adjust accordingly. That deep bite, while has been there in literally one lake that we've tried so far with like the consistency you would expect at this time of the year, everywhere else hasn't. It's like they hit like that late post-spawn point where they're starting to move out to like that deeper water and they're not taking that next step. And I don't know why. I think it's the grass. I could be way off. It doesn't matter. They haven't in almost every single lake we've been to.
In the grass patches, those are their usual summer spots. Like there's a freaking 10 by 10 patch of grass. There could be 10, 15 bass sitting in there in the summer. That could just be their home for the summer. And now it's not there. Where do they go?
Right. I'm lost. Help!
Find them somewhere. They're going to be in there.
Yeah. JJ fishing. Ticonderoga, but fire as always. Yeah. I still need to fish that section. I still haven't. Soon enough. Okay. Anyway, let's get to it. Because I've already been talking for 23 minutes, and I really want to get to this. So the question I have, and this is a part where you guys, all of you come in, everybody watching. How important is a name to you when it comes to brands that you follow? To communities that have been developed?
And we have been planning this for a while. Like he said, it's been over a year. 2 years? Like a year and a half. About a year.
Toying with the idea for a little over a year, not like serious, like toying with the idea of changing the name, not really serious about picking a name and sticking with it until November, December last year, and then actually moving forward with it legally in April. So almost 4 months ago, middle of April, I actually went, my wife took care of it for me at the same time we were doing her taxes. That same guy registers businesses. And I was like, I want to do this. And he was like, yep, not a problem. So 603 Bass is obviously registered by the state and protected. So go ahead and try and steal it and I'll see you in court. And then there's this other name that I want to change it to, that we both want to change it to. And this was not something we took lightly. It wasn't just like, that sounds sexy, let's go with that. And just, chasing the hot redhead in the skimpy dress. Which I will chase every time.
Redheads are nuts. I'm all set. I like the gothic bitches.
Yeah. Anyway, so I love 603 Bass and everything that represents, but it doesn't accurately portray us anymore. And the one biggest limiting factor I have to that is if you saw 603 Bass or you saw that OG logo, right here in the black, just the 603, the state, you have no fucking clue what that is.
You guys do.
You do because you've seen us and you've heard what it's about. But to some random angler out there that may actually like what we do and want to watch or listen to us and they see that, how the hell, if you literally you saw this side, you saw that, what does that do? Nothing.
And I can tell you right now from experience, people have no idea what the hell New Hampshire is. Because when I was in boot camp, nobody knew where New Hampshire. I just had to say I was from North Boston. Literally. They're like, oh, all right, I know where Boston is. The state outline, I mean, it's Sean's and Andrew LLC.
I do like this from South Jersey. If you're known under that brand name, then I think it's important. But if you're still small enough to where you don't have a ton of people who know you under that brand, then I can see if you change it. And that is my perspective. Then Jig Squad. If you have thought that long about it, then it's in your heart. You'd be crazy not to do it. Don't look back, boys. I will go a step further and say this change was going to happen regardless. But I'm not an idiot. I'm not. Well, that's a poor choice of words. Because I don't think it's idiotic to do it. If I thought it was idiotic to do it, I wouldn't have even been considering this conversation. It would have been happened. I'm a very open-minded person. And while I try to think things through logically, and I rely on my best friends, Andrew, John, like my buddy Chris, my wife, like plenty of other people that I have these private conversations with, I'm like, this is what I'm thinking, and I'm going to lay out every rational reason that I put a lot of thought into as to why I think this is a good idea. I need to hear different perspectives because there, without a shadow of a doubt, is always going to be something that I miss.
I mean, I'll either agree with you or I'll tell you straight up.
Right.
And I do. But it's usually good ideas, and this is definitely, I think this would move us in the right direction.
Yep.
Just because we have all you guys already. You guys know who we are. But that's because most of you are from New England, New Hampshire. You know the logo, but some schmuck out in, who knows, Washington, who doesn't even know what New Hampshire is.
No.
Who the hell are these? What the hell's that triangle with a bass in the middle of it?
Right.
What are these numbers? They're not going to know what it is.
No, you're right. It's a very New England thing. Like, you can't even necessarily, I guess you could call it a very Northeast thing. So when I think Northeast, it's literally just New England plus New York. That's why it's called the Northeast, because we don't let New York in New England. They're not allowed.
Vermont.
Vermont.
What's the end game?
Okay, I can answer that in great detail. I wanted a name that still portrays everything that we do, in the sense of it's just bass fishing, and we are based in the North. It's that simple. I don't need anything overly complicated. I mean, that's what Real Northern Bass Talk came from. Like, that was the whole idea. But I wanted it to be more universal to the North. Like, 603 Bass, like, the whole point of starting that was because of my New Hampshire pride. Like, I fucking love this state. I'm not moving.
Started it, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
close
like
to 10 years now.
Well, 2014, pretty close, 8 years ago. And it's just, my wife got me a freaking camera. It's 2014 or 2015. I think it was summer of 2014, because that's when I was at the lowest point in my life, and I wasn't doing the game anything anymore. My wife just surprised me to go over. She's like, "You need to go do something." She said it with love, not like annoyance. But that was the gist of the conversation. Like, I got you this. Just go make some fishing videos and just get back to doing something creative that gives you like some sort of fulfillment. And it was like, oh, well, I need a name. And 603 Bass. I love it. Super simple. It ties in bass fishing. To me at the time, it seemed really obvious. And it ties in my love for this state. And I only fished in New Hampshire at that point. I had a lot of stomach issues that I was terrified to travel too far. I didn't even like go to the lakes region. That's only an hour and a half. But now with like how much we've really we've been freaking everywhere, man. And we're going to continue to go to different places. But being in the North and really keeping everything tied to that is still extremely important to what we do. Because I want to continue to portray that because we live that. And I want to give all of that time and energy and knowledge back to that because this is where we live, man. And there's plenty of people that do that stuff in the South, and there's a lot of overlap, but there's also even more of it that doesn't overlap. We are a very different animal up here.
We've been told by like pretty big names that us New Englanders are some of the most hardcore fishermen out there because we will stay out in the freezing cold, ice, wind. It doesn't matter. That's why we have ice fishing. But these two knuckleheads like to go out and find open water in the middle of freaking January.
If she floats, we boat. Onward, friends. Like George Washington up on the front, as we're crashing through ice.
Sitting there with a log trying to break the
Get out of the way! I really have done that. I've had an ice pick. I've had to smash my way out through ice so I can fish the river.
We put sand. We've chipped and sanded boat launches. We've snowblowed boat launches. All just to get on the water and go try and catch some fish.
Yep. So,
And I know a bunch of you guys have definitely done it too. And that's, if that doesn't say passion, like, it's an addiction.
right. Yeah, no. And so, I mean, that's it. And to kind of reiterate in a more concise manner, my answer to Jason, that crazy hickbait there about what's the end game, to come up with something that better portrays what it is that we do while still paying homage to
Amish?
just Amish. No.
I'm gonna watch those Amish dudes tear down a barn in one day.
Yes, it's amazing. Anyway, while paying homage to where we live. Because being from the north is just, it's not just like a point of pride. It's just like, I love being up here and I want to help kind of continue to iterate that. And then also help us set apart. We're not just another group of guys talking about fishing in general. We're talking about fishing specifically in the northern half of the country where we have to deal with ice during the season. So trying to come up with a brand name that goes around that, that is also like, when you read it, it's like, okay, I at least have a brief idea or a very, very high level understanding of what that name is about. And it's an actual friggin' word or series of words that someone like see the logo and be like, huh, well, that's got to be something about bass fishing. And I'm curious. So you just type it in and holy shit, look at all that stuff that came up because I was able to search that. Whereas, you see the original logo, it's like, what do you search? 603 New Hampshire hat? Like, you can't get anywhere from that.
New Hampshire fish.
And Jig Squad. Did I just hide it when I meant to leave it there? Yeah, I did. Sorry. So the whole area code thing is personal. It's about pride in hometown, who you are. The problem is people don't relate with it everywhere, and that is the heart of the problem. I am very confident at this point, but not like the point of like bitterness or anything when I talk about this. Just it dawned upon me that this channel probably would have been a lot bigger at this point if it had a name and branding that was just like very easy to understand. It wasn't so regionally specific. That's my opinion on it. I could be entirely wrong. I know there's 1,000 other things I could do that could help make this grow faster if I had the time.
I mean, I've already seen growth just on my Instagram alone from Oliver helping us out.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that name change, something more not so centered on New Hampshire, would be like just the northern part of the country. Like, there's not many fishing channels out there that are like fishing bass channels that are directed for the north. Zona, but
well, if you're talking about, are you talking about like the level we are at, just for like the social media aspect, or are you talking about like national TV coverage, or both?
Just generic. Just like there's not many. I'm probably gonna forget a bunch, but like the bigger names, like Travis's channel.
Yeah, Smallmouth Crush.
Zona.
Yep. Facts of Fishing with Dave Mercer.
Right, and then when Polnick does his.
Yeah, but his are all like almost entirely centered around the elites.
Well,
so
true.
I mean, but he comes from the north, so his perspective absolutely still counts for that.
There's not many. I only named 3 or 4 of the bigger channels.
Yeah, a lot of those.
They're not even that big yet.
No, and that's the important thing. The timing of this is right. We've got a lot of support. You guys apparently love what we do, which we. If it sounds like I'm surprised, it's because I still am. And it's the dumbest thing. And if John, my buddy here from Wicked Custom Rods, were listening, and if he was within like a 3-minute drive, I guarantee you in 3 minutes and 10 seconds, you'd see him crashing through the door and literally slap me upside the head for continuing to not believe in myself for what I do. But I don't know. I've got this weird thing about how I view, like, how I want to grow and my concern for, I'm terrified of becoming a type of person that I despise. So I guess in the back of my head, I theorized that, well, if I just never give myself props or confidence that like, and buy into like, hell yeah, I can do this, then I can't be that guy I don't like. It's probably like 1,000 things wrong with that, but I don't know. I just roll with it. But apparently you guys like what we do. We're still growing. The traffic has been phenomenal. The engagement has been phenomenal. Like everything continues to grow. So before it gets too big, that maybe a name change would be detrimental, but still at a point where like it makes sense to change it because I feel it's really going to help grow. I don't know. I feel like we're really kind of at that point that it just works. But I want to hear, like, I've heard, I'm watching, I'm reading every comment. I'm trying to pin as many as we can. You guys are like our family,
so it's like we need your input too.
We wouldn't be here without them.
You were here from the start,
yep.
So.
And we can't get to where we want to be without you as well. Like, that's the one thing I've said forever, even when I had the gaming channel. You can't do this without community support. Like, I don't care what you do unless you're, like, the absolute master of understanding like how best to manipulate video titles and your thumbnails, because, and I don't say that necessarily in a negative way, it literally does matter. The YouTube algorithm is centered around that. If you do not play that game, you do not succeed on here. The difference for how much you can succeed is dramatic, and there's plenty of channels out there that I know of and love and respect because they're quality people that have done the research and the testing, and it's an absolute fact of the matter. But I forget what the hell I was going with at the beginning of that. Sorry. I don't know. Just you guys are here. We love you. All right. You can't do this without community support. In 90% of the cases, you just can't do it without you guys. If you're not here to constantly watch us, support us, engage in what we do, share what we do, then this just doesn't happen. So that's why we're having this conversation and including you guys, because I want to hear the good and the bad. What did David say? Just bought a bass boat on Saturday. Been fishing out of a John boat 30 years since I was a teen. I want to join a bass club. Need a partner as most clubs are team-based.
Congrats on the boat.
Bingo. Congrats. You will have no shortage of people that are interested in joining up with you, buddy. You post on Facebook, like just out of your friends, you're going to find somebody. South Jersey. I think once you have success behind the brand or name, it solidifies that name. And when people hear that name, they know what's associated with it. Truth. But we would definitely be making things a lot more difficult. My wife sent me Ted Lasso, pointing to the believe sign. Just do it. Sean, I will tell you the name shortly. Oh, this is what happens when you get closer to 40. All you can do is turn your head and pull a muscle in your neck. Shut up. You're looking at your very near future.
I already feel it, dude.
I literally just went to look at you and my neck's like, eh.
I do that all the time. I got to turn my whole body now to look at you.
JJ, you have a great product. Gonna go regardless. Thank you, man. I dig it. You guys are in Hampshire, but I know you fish Vermont and come down at my neck of the woods in Connecticut. I feel like your media represents New England. Totally justified in changing the name. Thank you, Brian. And yes, go Pats. I'm actually really excited to see how they're going to do this year. Don't ask him. He doesn't care. Everything is sports ball.
Yeah, all you guys just do is play with balls.
Kyle, spot on. I already know. But you know me. I like to do my due diligence. Make sure I'm not missing something.
Sean and Andrew's excellent bass adventure.
Jamie, I love you. Dude, I want like an 80s hairband like cover for our logo where the two of us are just like
vipers.
One rod and just like, yeah.
Wearing pit vipers and just slugging. I don't drink beer, but just Bud Heavies.
I want, instead of like the super hot like models that are like, you know, like on the ground kind of laying down, like clawing at your leg. Oh my God, you're beautiful. I want a smallmouth tucked up against my leg doing that and a largemouth against your leg. And
I want John against my leg.
Do we have to make this now? The greatest thing. All right, new alternate logo already figured out. This is going to be so stupid.
It's pretty dumb.
Dude, it's going to be so amazing. People are going to see that and be like, what the fuck?
What is wrong with them? This is what you don't see on camera.
Holy crap. Thank you, TV18. Appreciate it. David, you're finally here.
Like Oliver said, it's called being professional.
I don't know what that is half the time. Talent. I mean, I like the new logo. I always support you guys no matter what. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. Lizard, I just walked into your channel in February this year, but you guys taught me so much. I've only caught 2 fish, 4 pounds or over. But this year I have multiple 4-pounders this year alone on Rhode Island.
Hell yeah, man. Dude.
Happy to hear it. Gordy, I'm already for the new hats and shirts. Good vibes. See, and the problem is, like,
Gordy,
can
you
come
can
up
be
with,
hugging his leg.
oh my god, that'd be great. John on your leg and Gordy on the other mine, and they're just like
It's the gayest thing.
largemouth and smallmouth, like angels with their halos behind us.
You guys need to wear togas though.
Holding a bag of like flatworms and magic flicks, like spreading out like their flower petals.
Dude, I'll grow a mullet. I'm already halfway there.
That's all I gotta do. I just gotta shave the beard. I let the stash go for 1 more week and just
Handlebars and a mullet. I'll do it. I ain't afraid.
dude.
I've done it before. I rocked a mullet for like 4 months.
Yeah, you did. I remember
Before
that.
all you guys started getting mullets, I had one like 3 or 4 years ago.
I can hear my wife already upstairs. Like, if you shave your beard, I swear. Did you get into Andrew's edibles?
No.
I plead the fifth. No.
Easy.
So, I mean, honestly, that's it. I wanted to keep this a short night, and just like kind of have some fun and talk to you guys about this. And we wanted your input for, like, I guess any potential negative ramifications that we hadn't considered. And instead, in the end, we got nothing but overwhelming support from all of you. The idea for an amazing hairband-inspired T-shirt for the next alternate logo, and full steam ahead.
And a drum. Yes, dude.
Paul Nick's got what the hell is the bottle rocket shirt? I think didn't he just call them bottle rockets and then little meat nuggets?
Meat nuggets and
small bottle rockets.
Tourney tees.
Yeah. We need to have our own version.
He had some pretty good ones.
He does. It was phenomenal ones.
Fucking awesome. I love all you guys.
You're amazing people. Andrew K. starring in Eastbound and Down.
Yep. That's me.
Now all I can think of is, what the hell is that actor's name? And This Is the End? When like the apocalypse hits, and it's like Seth Rogen and James Franco and that dude, and they're all stuck in James Franco's apartment. He's like, I'll over anywhere I want. What the hell is his name? Anyway,
I know you're
now it's getting
about.
inappropriate. This was fun. I appreciate everybody that showed up tonight. I'm not sure that there's anything else we need to discuss, but by all means, if you want to shoot us questions, we'll keep this going until 9 o'clock the latest. Want to do a new 1-hour format. And actually, this is a great time to talk about next week. I am on vacation with the family next week. We're still going to do the stream because my kids are all about that pool life at the hotel we're staying at. It's nothing super fancy. Don't worry.
Where are you going?
The Margate. The Margate? Yeah, the Margate up in Winnipesaukee. The Margate? I don't remember.
I stay away from Winnie.
I asked my wife, what days are we traveling and where do I need to be? And you just tell me where to drive. And I'm game.
Your buddy made the meat nugget hat for Paul.
Oh, what? That's
sick.
awesome.
I didn't know that.
So the stream will still be on. It'll be a 1-hour special. Probably just be like an open mic night.
I'll be at home.
For those that are doing the channel memberships, we greatly appreciate you still doing that. I do apologize. We are behind a month on getting the private streams done. We're going to get that sorted out real frickin' soon here. So hang tight. We appreciate everything you guys are doing for us and also the patience because growing pains with trying to keep everything managed. I guess one other thing to elaborate on about this whole thing, there's actually a lot of business incentives, for lack of a better term at the moment, to explain this, to do the name change now because so we have the online store for Shopify, but I can't really put it anywhere because I was an idiot and I registered it under this other name that I was like, yeah, that's a great name. But then trying to tie the two together, I was like, well, I can't do that because then if I go to change one to match the other, it's kind of screws everything up because it's all they're essentially under 2 registered business names. And I was like, well, maybe I can work around that. And I was like, you know what? Let's just hold off on it for now. until we do the one name for everything. And then I can tie everything in. So our Shopify store will actually show up on YouTube. I did double check. I can tie it in. It will be on our website directly. So you can go to 603bass.com and it's there versus whatever the Shopify link is. I can't remember off the top of my head. I can attach it to Instagram as well. Instagram name is going to change. On your end, literally nothing changes. If you're already subscribed, if you're following, you have notifications on, like none of that changes. You're just, it all stays the same. You just show up, and the only thing is, instead of watching 603 Bass, you're watching the new name. Pretty easy. Real simple on your part. You do literally nothing. You just sit there and you enjoy the ride. Make this real easy for you.
Hold on. Shit gets bumpy.
Ben, no matter what, we'll listen to your stories of big fishes that swallow. So, Jamie, that was the other part of it, too. I am going to have redirects because one thing that I thought about when I'm trying to think of, like, bigger picture on this, right, is I am positive that there's plenty of people that don't, like, actually follow on Instagram or anything and don't are not actually subscribed to us on YouTube. And that's fine because I know there's a lot of people that, like, they've told me this, so there's got to be a lot more people than the ones I've heard from. They're like, I just search for you on YouTube every night, and 603 Bass, your channel comes up, and I just go look at your stuff.
You know what's crazy? There's literally a red rectangle that says subscribe, and every time you click that,
yeah, but then
the channel
you have
comes
to
up at the beginning.
You have to create an account to subscribe, and I think a lot of people just don't want to be bothered.
Oh, true.
Which is fine because they still come and watch, so it doesn't matter.
You do what I do and just shut your phone off.
Just ignore the literal tens of thousands of unread messages. Yeah, I want to get an update on this. But anyway, so I have it all set up so when I hit go on this, really dumbed down, right? Hit go. That there will be redirects on everything. So anytime anybody searches 603 Bass, there will be a site that comes up for all of our social media, an actual website, the channel on YouTube itself. And the only thing that's going to be on there is this announcement video saying, hey, we've moved, and explain, even if you're already subscribed, then you've already known all this and nothing changed for you. If you're someone that just searched for us, but you weren't, for whatever reason, you weren't subscribed, but you always came back, that's what the redirects are for. So we have the redundancies already set up, and they'll be ready to rock. So we'll be good. I already got my guy that built the website ready to rock. He just said, tell me whatever day you want to do it. And he literally just taking 30 seconds and bada bing, bada boom. The 603bass.com becomes the backup site with the simple redirect. So it'll just bring you right to the new one. And then, no, Kyle, we didn't actually say it yet. I don't want to say it yet. People can probably guess what it is, but just in case.
So 12,103 emails.
Oh my God.
Which I actually erased a lot. 317 texts I have not read. There's 11 notifications on direct messages on Instagram. There's only one on Facebook. 7 in the messengers. 119 on YouTube. 10 in Snapchat. 34 missed calls. 14 on TikTok.
Jesus Christ.
34 in GarageBand. I don't play GarageBand. Oh, one in Venmo. I'll check that one. Oh, $2. Good.
Bob, problem is if you get bigger, you will lose your local flavor.
No.
I don't know. I guess I don't understand
so.
what you mean by that. Like, will we travel too much and not be considered local? That's kind of how I'm initially
It's weird because my address says I live in Milford, New Hampshire. Pretty local.
Can you elaborate on that, Bob? I'm curious. I just want to make sure I understood you. Jason, new boat in the works? No, not yet. I did call about one last week for a slightly newer boat. But it was already under deposit, which sucks.
He sent me the text, and I opened it, and it said pending. I was like, you motherfucker.
Price was right. Like, it was a no-brainer. It was, like, a beautiful color, and it was a 20-footer with a 250. It had most of the electronics I wanted on it. It was just, it had, like, 130 hours on it or something. Nicer trailer. Like, I was like, okay, no, literally everything about this is nice. This is a slightly better ride. It was an FX20. So another Skeeter, but I mean, price was right, hours were right, everything I wanted on it was right. Wouldn't mind a little bit more blue, but it still was a really nice color. It was dual console, which I still want, like the whole thing. So But I called. I should have called the night before, but my wife and I were having a disagreement about it, and then she came to her senses the next day, and I called and it was already pending. So, what are you gonna do? Keep an eye out for the next one. That's what you do. Big Bass Dreams, New England. Yeah, but no. I mean, not. That's not the name. But yes, we'll be doing that. So that
is kind of
Go ahead.
Kind of the deal with Oliver, I think.
Yes,
that we had with him. That we'll be doing the Big Bass. We'll pretty much just representing Big Bass Dreams for New England. And Kyle, yes, we will always be part of Slaunch Beach crew. That will never go away.
Oh, dirty Slaunch crew.
Yeah, he did the same to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
he sends me the picture. I'm like, new boat.
I didn't send shit to you guys until I made the call, and then there was still a glimmer of a hope that it could happen. So it wasn't like I just blue-balled all of you guys about
but you could have, like, cropped out pending.
Well, I didn't know it actually said pending. When I called, it didn't say pending. That's why if I saw pending before I called.
The website. I looked up on the website.
If I had seen that before I called, then I wouldn't have even called. I'm like, oh well. But yeah, I called, and they were like, there's a guy with a down payment on it. If it falls through, we'll call you. And that was a week ago. Today. Mega sad. Oh. It's still on the website showing it's pending. This is still everybody cross your fingers and your toes. Say a little prayer to Daddy Snoove here.
Buy a new boat, Dad.
Make it happen. Hella Bass, what's going on, buddy? Just jumped in right at the end of this. I don't know, anything else from you guys? Otherwise, we're going to call it early for once. This was, I didn't want to overcomplicate the discussion tonight. I really wanted to talk about this from every facet of perspective on this. Oh, my wife checked the boat, says it's sold. She's like,
way to be the bearer of bad news.
Well, I mean, there was also a 2019 Skeeter FX 20 LE.
What's the difference?
About another $30,000.
Get that one. See what she
for says. The great price of $76,000.
Jesus Christ!
I saw another boat. It was dude. It had 5 Solix 12s.
Who wants to buy my boat?
Mega 360 and Mega Live for 68.
Yours.
I think, and I was like, that's a lot of money, but it's done. I was like, wonder if I could convince my wife of that. It's like 2018, I think. I mean, literally had everything I want on it. 2 10-foot blades. I was like, I want it. Yeah, but I really don't want Mega Live. I don't know. Sean, I can't afford a Blazer. I looked. No. Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Not yet. If I was going to spend that much money as that Skeeter I was just talking about, I would totally get one of those. But I'm trying to. Sick. I'm trying to find a 5-year stepping stone here before I go brand new.
Hi.
That's the plan. Devil. Oh, look who it is, Mr. Oliver, Big Bass Dreams himself. Hey, friend. You got here just in the nick of time for us to leave. Way to go. Terrible timing.
I'm going to do an aluminum boat next. The prices are good. I want an aluminum boat.
We saw, I forgot to tell you, when we were out fishing Sunday, we saw a guy with a tracker with a 150 on the back, and he had a dual axle trailer. Dude, it was a nice boat. Like, it was big. It looked good. It sat just right in the water. I was like, that is actually a really nice freaking boat.
Probably get a 175 on it.
Probably. I don't know. Can you? I feel like they make them 19-footers.
It's the same
like 19 and a half motor, and the max 150.
Bigger pistons.
That's one way to look at it.
Same freaking thing. You could throw a 250 on yours, no problem. It's the same freaking motor. It's just flash different.
I know. I keep thinking about it. I mean, I just could flash my motor.
Don't do it.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. No.
You should do it. If you're going to sell it, you should do it.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave her boat stock as is. I'm going to continue to chip away.
And then reflash it back to stock right before you sell it.
I know. You know what I should really be focusing on before getting an active target on this?
Don't buy his boat.
is like wrapping up all these little things that I got to get done. Like there's a few patches of fiberglass I would love to have patched up before I put the keel guard on. I got to get the trailer welded. Okay, I sound like I was going to go on this like rant of 30 things I got to do. It's literally just those 2 things.
Dude, you've been talking about putting a keel guard on that since the day you bought it.
It's right there. I bought it.
You have it?
I've had it for 3 years.
Just fucking put it on.
My opinion, I got to patch the bottom of the boat a little bit before I put it on. I would like a second opinion. You can climb under my boat tomorrow. Let me know.
You'll be
Alec,
all
I'm
right.
toying with the idea. I'm toying with the upgrade to a bigger aluminum for next season. Already got the okay for the missus. Just need financials to work out after the wedding in October. Here's the thing. We'll call it quits after this, but Kyle, you shush. No, I don't have a cue card. I'm very, very particular and careful about where I beach my boat. So, Alec, here's the thing. I've been saying this to a lot of people, and I use the same justification for myself and for my wife when we bought the current Skeeter that I have. If the boat that you're looking at is within your financial means, you've done your due diligence, you're ahead on it. So from day one, you have some form of equity in it, and you will always have some form of equity. To the point that if you had to sell it for some emergency and you had to take a bit of a hit on it, you're not losing money. You come out of it with zero left. What are you waiting for?
I'll never buy a boat then.
You will. Everybody will get there. But that's the thing. And that's, dude, if you've got the money, and especially if you're looking at like something really new, and I used to be really against the idea of a super long note on a boat. But then I thought about it, and I was like, actually, I was talking to Sean about this. He's in the chat here when he bought his Blazer. And I was like, he was like, yeah, it's a long term though on this boat. It's a lot of money. I was like, yeah, but the boat you're buying is a literal forever boat. It's a freaking 20.5-foot boat with a 250 and all the electronics you want on it, or near enough to it. And upgrading electronics here and there, you can chip away at that every 3, 4, 5 years. And you can keep, like, after that, like, that's it. That's the only thing you're going to worry about upgrading for a boat. You buy something like that, it's the last boat you need to buy for the rest of your life. Screw it. If you can afford it, do it. Comfortably afford it. That's the big thing. If you're talking about like a $700 a month payment for the next 15 years, you might want to pump the brakes a little bit. Because if you're making enough money to like actually really afford that, you can also probably actually really afford a giant down payment on it too, that your payment wouldn't be like that. But that's the thing. I don't know. It's just about being like kind of responsible and finding balance in everything that you do. God damn it, you're right. Write the damn check. Hell yeah, Guggen Slayer. Another PB on Monday. 21-inch, 5-pound smallmouth. That must have been a
Damn.
thick girl. 21. Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
21 is about right, yeah. Then they get fat.
Yeah. Smallmouth is like a circle.
Smallmouth like circle. Largemouth like flubber. Any shape.
All right. It has been a treat. We're going to call it quits early tonight. I'm going to go watch a movie with the family, and I'm going to be at work early tomorrow. So for everybody that watched and offered their input, their insights, the pros, the cons, which I didn't really actually see any cons. We didn't miss anything. You guys helped us out the whole 9 yards. We really appreciate it. Jamie, you're not wrong. Have a good night, Drew. Yeah, I don't know, man. So next weekend, we're still doing the stream. It just will look slightly differently. Andrew, do your thing, friend.
Well, you're not going to be home, but I'm going to be at home next week. And you could find us at youtube.com/603bass every Wednesday for now at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Bye. Love you guys. I'll miss you till next week.
Just, you can pretend wherever I was petting. Have a great night.